So UFC 313 is this Saturday. I had to make my predictions. I'm gonna say a lot in this video. I think a lot of people might get mad at what I have to say. But hey, these are my thoughts, these are my predictions. Let's get into it, starting with the main event of Alex Pereira. Why? There we go. Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. Now, when you look at Ankalaev's last few fights, he beat Rakic, very close fight though, and I feel like Alexander Rakic's corner kind of screwed him over in this fight with what they were telling him to do. Johnny Walker, right hook, uppercut, KO. Johnny Walker, I don't even know what he's up to. I know that he did have that one run where many people thought he would be the one to dethrone John Jones. Look how that turned out. But their first fight ended in an illegal knee. Then you get to the Jan Blachowicz fight, which ended in a split draw. Very even fight. A lot of people said or say Uncle I have won that fight. I tend to agree. I would have given that fight to Uncle Live, but it was a very, very close fight. When he did implement his wrestling, which we're gonna get into, I guess now, it wasn't some insane Dagestani pressure wrestling that you expect. I feel like many people are believing that out of nowhere, Uncle Ev is going to become this, all elite Dagestani wrestler. I just don't see it happening. The one before that, Anthony Smith by Ground and Pound. I mean, a couple years ago, oh, I guess it was 2 years ago, but that win was kind of 2 years too late, if you ask me. Then you go over to Pereira, the biggest star in MMA currently. You look at his last few fights. This is where we're going to have to talk about the Khalil Roundtree fight. Looks kind of bad there in the first 2 rounds. But once he got into it, he convincingly won the third. And in the fourth, Khalil, his body gave up. And again, he got another knockout. Wasn't, the flash knockout we're used to seeing, like in the Yuri fight, where he nearly knocked out Yuri in the first round. And it was one head kick that did it in round number two. Before that, beating Jamal Hill at UFC 300. The only guy willing to step up and fight on the UFC 300 card, which was supposed to be the biggest card in history. This right here, I would say, is what officially turned Alex Pereira into the face of the UFC. Then you go to, I think that was a year or November, that will be 2023. First fight with Yuri for the vacant belt at that time because of the fact that Jamal Hill got injured, relinquished it. We had that kind of champ carousel with Yuri vacating the title before. Um, Again, Yuri looked good in the first. Second, though, Pereira's power is just too much. Then the Yon fight. This is where we're going to talk a bit. And I'm taking this time because it's the main event. The rest of my picks are pretty straight to the point. But, like, Jan did take him down. He did have he did have a lot of good moments on the ground against Pereira. But Alex did really good for a guy who has minimal grappling experience at that time. A year and 7 months ago, he's in training with Glover Teixeira for the last year, I'd say, or however long it's been. You don't think he picked up anything under Glover, who had 15 wins by a submission in the light heavyweight division? I gotta be honest, I don't see anything that Ankalaev does that Pereira doesn't do better. Ankalaev, good boxer, even good kickboxer. Pereira is the best boxer. Ankalaev, he has good leg kicks. Pereira has the best leg kicks in the game. The only bit that Ankalaev could have is a wrestling game and a grappling game that we know really nothing of at this current stage, and he has zero submission wins. I'm going for a second round TKO. Uncle Ive has Ramadan against him. He was pressured into this fight. This fight was made because they couldn't find anybody else to headline this card. The story of Pereira's career, it seems. But even with Ramadan out of the question, I just don't see Ankalaev being better than Pereira. I don't see him switching up his game plan. Pereira, second round TKO. Moving on to the co-main event. Originally, Dan Hooker versus Gaethje. Now it's Rafael Fiziev versus Justin Gaethje, who fought back in, what was it here? That would have been 2023, I think. But we all know. Or, actually, I'm starting off with Fiziev. Fiziev in his last few fights lost to Gamrot due to leg injury. Lost to Gaethje by majority decision. Very close fight, though. We're going to come back to that. Before that, KO RDA legend. He killed Brad Riddle. Had a unanimous win over Bobby Green, a veteran of the 155 division. Gaethje is 36. And originally, I had Dan Hooker winning this fight. Looking at Dan Hooker, I thought that he would break Gaethje down. He would be more technical, and he would get that weight. Fourth on KO. But you have to factor in Gaethje changed this fight from 5 rounds to 3, which is what the last fight was at. It's not a good look. I could see. Oh, I could see a wait TKO. I could see late in the third, Fiziev mixing something up, throwing, a spinning kick, uh, big hook. I can see him landing that shot late in the fight. Gaethje got knocked out 10 months ago. So almost a year, but again, he's 36, Fiziev 32. The UFC are looking at this as Gaethje's on his way out. Get Fiziev up there, but I would have preferred Moicano. But looking at this, I think it's the right move for the UFC. Rafael Fiziev, weight finish, or a unanimous decision. Moving on to Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Mohamedis. Um, uh, Mohamedis. I would say Ignacio coming off of a TKO win over Manuel Torres. TKO'd Christos Guagos. Lost to Klein. Beat Trey Ogden. That's a good win. And he beat Longzhu by submission. Looking at Jalen Turner's last two fights, TKO lost to Jalen Turner, Renato Moicano. Knockout victory over King Green. Lost to Dan Hooker in a close split decision. Lost to Gamrot in a close split decision. And then submitted Brad Riddle. So, Jalen Turner is young, 29 years old. I I've kind of felt like there was a hype behind Jalen Turner that I would compare it to um uh Johnny Walker, where he looked big dude, lengthy dude, a lot of power on the come up, looks like a nightmare in the division. It's, he hasn't hit his potential yet, and for me to say that this is tough. Okay, I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm going with Turner to get second round finish. Second round finish. Probably a TKO. But if he doesn't get this, man, I kind of feel like that might be it for his hopes of staying ranked in the lightweight division. It's just he's really talented, but I just don't know if he has what it takes to compete with the ranked lightweights. Moving on though to Amanda Lemos versus uh Lucindo. I picked it's a women's fight, not gonna go too into detail. I picked Lucindo by decision. Mandalay most in the last two fights. Lost to Bernard Jandarova. Beat Mackenzie Dern. Lost to Zhang Wei. Um, KO'd Marina Rodriguez. And before that, Michelle Watterson. Submitted her with the guillotine. You look at Lucindo, Marina Rodriguez, Caroline Kowalkiewicz, Poliana Viana, and Brogan Walker, losing to Yasmin. Yeah, who cares? I'm gonna go Lucindo. Um, I mean, it's a woman's fight. Well, what else do you want me to say? It's either gonna be one of the best fights on the card, or nothing will happen. No in between. Moving on, Bobby Green, Mauricio Ruffi. Mauricio Ruffi is one of the upcoming guys that I feel like the UFC is really getting behind. Um, Bobby Green, another veteran of the weight division, submitted by Patty Pingwood, beat Jim Miller, legend, Dale Benjamin Turner. Before that, beat Grant Dawson, who looked really good on his come up. I think he won recently too. And before that, he submitted Tony Ferguson. Looking at Mauricio Ruffi, beat James on top. KO Jamie Malarkey killed Ramon Magdalaev on the Contender Series. KO'd a guy named Ronnie Torres and Cornello Rotura. So I think this is another fairly obvious pick. I'm going Mauricio Raffi, younger guy. The UFC is getting behind him. Bobby Green, veteran of the sport. I feel like they're trying to push him out of the top of the division. Maybe have him be a guy that does fight these up and comers like Mauricio Raffi, depending on how long Bobby Green or King Green, I'm not calling him King Green, Bobby Green wants to stay. So Mauricio Raffi, what did I say? Second round TKO, third round TKO. Yeah, I feel like Green, he's a veteran. He can at least stick around for 2 rounds. Now we go to Curtis Blades versus Kanev. Blades, you look at him. Last loss to Tom Aspinall by TKO. KO Jolton Almeida. One of my favorites in the division. Got KO by Pavlovich. Got one. This is the fight he won against Tom Arsenal. Tom Arsenal injured his knee in that fight, and then KO Chris Dawkins. You look at Kniv, beat Hugo Kangara, Hamilton, any notable names? No, I'm going Curtis Blades. I really do not. When it comes to heavyweight, I have a hard time putting trust in any of the guys that the UFC pull up. Is this the guy from PFL? I think it is, right? Oh yeah, he beat. Oh yeah, I forgot this was the PFL champion. Well, it still stands. Yeah, he's a PFL champion in in PFL, obviously. Again, the competition in the UFC is way higher. We've seen this story so many times. Kaya Shikora recently, where these other people who look insane outside the UFC come into the UFC, and it reminds you that the people ranked in these divisions, the people on this roster truly are the best in the world, except for, I would say Demetrius Johnson, Francis Ngannou. So I'm going Blades, second round TKO. Um, yeah, I'd like to be wrong. It's just we've seen it too many times. We've seen it way too many times where this person comes in, they're a champion at this organization. Like look at Michael Chandler, right? Where he's a ex Bellator champion. He comes in. He beats Dan Hooker, which was one that aged well. Then he loses to Poirier, loses to Gaethje. Then he takes time out for the Conor fight, comes back, loses to Oliveira. I forgot about the first Oliveira fight, but you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? UFC competition is far, far, far tougher. I'm losing words here. Um, it's a lot harder to work your way up, and that's when you see why somebody is ranked top five. I mean, top five in the heavyweight division still means you're the sixth best guy in heavyweight. Now, Ray Tesora versus Josh Van. This is This is a tough one for me. I expect Carlos Hernandez. What good unanimous decision. Before that, KO'd Jim Huey on the road to UFC, beat Mark Clamaco and Ronald Sihan. Then before that, in Pancrase Hybrid Wrestling, uh, he beat Satoru Inamoto. Now, looking at Josh Van, he's coming off of a decision win against Cody Durden. Edgar Teresi, he beat by unanimous decision. Got KO'd by Charles Johnson. Felipe Burns, he KO'd. And then Kevin Borges. I'm not sold on Chisora. I really am not sold on Chisora. I'm going Joshua Van. I think that Van is on a good streak right now. He's definitely recovered from the Charles Johnson KO loss really well, and he's one of my favorite up and comers, I would have to say. 23 years old, can be a stable in the flyweight division for the next 15 years, possibly. I'm going with Van. Now, the question is, do I go to... no. I'm going to go decision. Probably 29-28, I feel. Joshua Van potentially threatens for a finish. Probably late in the second or third. But I'm going with Joshua Van. I'm really liking the run he's on. Moving on to Bruno Ferreira versus Armand Petrosian. Looking at Armand Petrosian. Got KO'd by Shara Magomedov in his last fight. Highlight reel, double spinning back fist. Before that, got submitted by Rodolfo Vieira. Beat Christian Leroy Duncan, AJ Dobson, and then before that, lost to Kyle Varolo. So for Tolson, he's only lost to, I mean, he's lost to two of the best that middleweight have to offer. Bruno Ferreira, Gregory Rodriguez, got KO by Ruzbroev, then came back KO Phil Haas, Dustin Stolfos, and lost to a booster Malgamadov. Um, again, I don't think that one's related to Khabib, and that name has been getting kind of getting demoted in um, Fear Factor, I'd say. I really can't think of words right now. For this fight though, I'm gonna go Ferreira by decision. I just think he's more well rounded. I think he has better striking, and that's why I kind of feel that he will take over. 2 years younger. It's close though. Petrosian, he's only lost to the best of the best. So what I'm kind of saying here is I do believe that Bruno Ferreira has the capability of standing out and potentially making a run for the top 15. So once again, Bruno Ferreira, I'm going decision. And yeah, moving on, it should be where go? Alex Morono versus Carlos Leo. Looking at Alex Morono, lost to Daniel Rodriguez by a split decision, lost to Nico Price by unanimous decision, beat Court McGee, lost to Joaquin Buckley, and beat Tim Means. Carlos Leo, lost to Renat Fakradinov. No bad loss, Alex Fakradinov. Before that, KO Manuel May, KO in UAE Warriors, lost to a guy named Sadibu Sai and Delano Taylor in the PFL. Um, to be completely honest, I forgot that Ronaldo was even in the UFC still. Um, actually, no, why am I overthinking it? Carlos will. I think he'll bounce back. I see him getting finished probably in the second round. He's a massive favorite. It's just I don't get. Well, no, it's a 2-fight losing streak, but I feel like you've kind of seen what you're going to get with Moreno. He can be a stepping stone for Carlos Whale. Question is, though, that do I see him being one of the better welterweights that makes in the rankings? He could. He could. I don't know, man. Welterweight is kind of a brutal division when you look at who's in it and who already is coming up. Moving on to Marion Santos versus Francis Marshall. I'm going Santos by decision. Looking at his last few fights, beat Con halfway, beat Rafael Barboza, lost to Dan Argetta by KO, where I KO the guy in Showtime fights and split decision in professional judo Brazil. Um, Looking at Francis Marshall, split decision against Dennis Buzzard, Buzzard, I hate these names, dude. I fucking hate these names. Uh, Before that, got KO'd by Isaac Bulgarian. Lost to William Gomez for split decision. Uh, then he KO'd Marcelo Rosa and Connor Matthews by decision. I think it's pretty simple here. I'm going Santos. Um, I'll go with the decision. I think that he'll definitely outpoint him. I think his striking is better. It goes to the ground. I favor Santos. So I'm going to go with Santos by decision. Moving on to the next fight of the card. It is um I'm stupid. Uh Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. Looking at Gutierrez coming out for win against Quang Lee. Good win. I watched the Song Yadong beat, not gonna try and say his name. Watched the Pedro Munoz and Caleb Frankie Edgar, who was probably 40 at the time. Then you go to John Castaneda, watched the Daniel Marcos, beat Hokang by decision, beat Muin Gaffarov by decision, watched the Daniel Santos by TKO, and beat Miles Jones by arm triangle. Um, oh, I said Gutierrez by decision. I feel confident in it. I really do. I think it should be a fun fight. I just feel like um, the the range will definitely be a factor in this fight. Gutierrez, if he's smart, can keep him at length, tag him a bunch of times, and win comfortably on a decision. Possibly get an opening, but I most likely see a decision in that fight. Moving on to the final fight of the card, or it's the opener. Ozzy Diaz versus the Jordan Santos. What did I say here? Uh, okay. So you look at Ozzy Diaz, got KO'd by Ming Yang Zhang, beat Bevan Lewis by KO, beat Chuck Campbell, lost to Joe Pfeiffer by TKO and KO'd a guy named Bruno Assis, Jordan Santos, beat Will Curry, beat Felipe, Moutinho by unanimous decision. Miguel Firmino by a split decision. I don't really know his people's name. I'm going to go with Santos by decision. Younger fighter, I feel like he has more weapons in his arsenal. Um, yeah, I just see him outplaying him. Winning 29-28 probably on the scorecards. And those are all my predictions. Mainly, though, when I look at this main event, it's your main point is this Alex's last fight at light heavyweight? I truly believe it is. I just looking at Ankalaev is good, but when you're talking about somebody with the weapons like an Alex Pereira, I don't see him having everything. I know the weight thing is an issue for Alex that came up. It's Ramadan, man. That's gotta suck, but we'll see. Give me your picks in the comments down below if you watched all of this. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to the channel. And we will like, comment, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.